In October 9, 2025, a statement from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy made headlines worldwide. He reportedly told US President Donald Trump, "If you give us Tomahawk missiles, we will lobby for the Nobel Peace Prize for you." On the surface, it may have seemed a strategic appeal for military aid, but the remark carried deeper, unsettling implications. It linked instruments of war, missiles designed for destruction, with a prize meant to honor peace. Welcome back to TFI Global. Today, we examine the symbolism, the politics, and the controversial dynamics behind this statement. We begin with the statement that Tomahawk missiles are not toys. They are instruments of long-range destruction, capable of obliterating targets hundreds of kilometers away. The Nobel Peace Prize, on the other hand, is meant to celebrate the pursuit of diplomacy, human rights, and the cessation of conflict. By linking tomahawks to the Nobel, Zelenskyy created a paradox. The very weapons that prolong war were being framed as catalysts for peace. Critics argued that this revealed a disturbing reality, that when survival and ambition intersect, even the most revered symbols of peace can be politicized. It also raised questions about the integrity of the Nobel Prize itself. If military assistance could be leveraged to influence a prestigious award, what does that say about the process, the winners, and the credibility of international recognition? Zelenskyy made the remark during a press briefing in Kyiv, addressing the urgent need for long-range Tomahawk missiles. By tying the request to the Nobel Prize, he effectively personalized the appeal, aiming it at Trump's desire for legacy and international recognition. Critics call this a strategic misstep, blackmailing tactics. Instead of arguing Ukraine's need as a matter of survival and alliance obligation, the statement appeared transactional: provide weapons, receive prestige in return. Linking military aid to symbolic recognition risks turning Ukraine's serious struggle into a spectacle. The international reaction was immediate. European diplomats expressed concern that the remark could undermine Ukraine's credibility, portraying it as dependent on theatrics rather than strategic reasoning. From Moscow, Vladimir Putin mocked the statement, framing it as evidence of desperation. Even social media reacted with ridicule. Memes and commentary highlighted the absurdity. "Tomahawks for peace, coming soon to Oslo," said a meme. The episode sparked a broader discussion. How much had the language of peace and diplomacy become transactional, and how easily could symbolism be exploited? The very next day, the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, recognized for her courageous resistance to authoritarian rule. Trump did not receive a nomination, and Zelenskyy's proposed linkage between missiles and the prize produced no tangible outcome. This outcome underscored a fundamental truth that the Nobel Prize is not meant to be leveraged as a bargaining chip. Yet, the remark itself reflected a growing perception, among critics at least, that global awards could be influenced by political theater and personal ambition rather than solely merit. By publicly offering the Nobel Prize as a reward, Zelenskyy crossed a delicate line. Critics argued that it blurred the boundary between ethical diplomacy and transactional politics. Tomahawk missiles could certainly change the battlefield, but they cannot create peace in the moral or symbolic sense. Linking war-making tools to a peace prize raised troubling questions about leadership, judgment, and the messaging being sent to allies and adversaries alike. For Ukraine, it risked reframing the narrative from principled defense to transactional negotiation, potentially eroding trust among international supporters. Zelenskyy's remark also cast a spotlight on the Nobel Peace Prize itself. The prize is intended to honor courage, diplomacy, and the pursuit of human welfare. When tied to weapons requests, it highlights how politicized international recognition can appear. Critics argued that such gestures undermine the credibility of global awards and raised doubts about the bias, favoritism, and the influence of political leverage. The controversy suggested that in today's geopolitics, even symbols of peace can be used as tools in high-stakes power plays. Zelenskyy's Tomahawk for Nobel statement reflected the high-pressure world of modern diplomacy, where survival, optics, and political ambition intersect. It revealed how even the most revered symbols of peace can be dragged into the transactional nature of global politics. While Ukraine's struggle for survival remains real and urgent, the remarks sparked questions about leadership, judgment, and strategic messaging. Tomahawk missiles are instruments of war. The Nobel Peace Prize is a symbol of harmony. By linking the two, Zelenskyy exposed a paradox that in today's world, peace itself can be politicized and moral clarity is often overshadowed by survival, ambition, and the pursuit of influence. Thanks for watching.